This might be the single most ambitious Barndominium floor plan I've ever broken down on this channel. A complete, fully enclosed loop of living space. 4 wings connected at every corner, wrapped entirely around a private central courtyard, and the whole structure is lifted into the air on piers, floating above the ground instead of sitting on it. It looks like something out of a design magazine, and today I'm taking you inside it. The real engineering behind why this shape and this foundation combination is so genuinely difficult to pull off, what it actually costs, and exactly where a build this ambitious can go wrong if it isn't engineered correctly. Stay to the end, because the corner connections on this build are dealing with a structural problem most single-story homes never have to solve. Before we get into it, if you love builds that push past the standard Barndominium formula, hit subscribe. This is Homes and Haven, and every week I break down the real engineering and honest cost behind the most ambitious builds people are talking about. Let's go inside this one. What makes this build genuinely different? Let's start with exactly what we're looking at, because this build is actually 2 distinct, ambitious design choices stacked on top of each other, not just one. The first is the shape. This is a true O-shaped floor plan, sometimes called a full courtyard or atrium layout, where 4 wings of living space connect at all 4 corners to form one complete, unbroken loop, fully enclosing a private central courtyard on every side. This is meaningfully different from a U-shaped or L-shaped courtyard design, which leaves at least one side open. A true O-shape commits to full enclosure, which means every corner of this home is a genuine structural connection point, not just a design flourish. The second is the foundation. This entire loop is elevated on piers, raising the living space off the ground rather than sitting on a standard slab. That's the same elevated Queenslander-inspired approach we've covered on this channel before, applied here to a dramatically more complex shape than a simple rectangular footprint. Individually, either one of these choices is already a significant design and engineering commitment. Combined, they create a build that genuinely earns the word incredible in this video's title. But it also means this is a home where nearly every honest challenge that applies to a courtyard design and every honest challenge that applies to an elevated design are both present at the same time, often interacting with each other in ways a simpler build never has to deal with. Here's the honest design logic behind why someone would take on both of these challenges at once. Because it's a genuinely compelling combination when it's executed well. A full courtyard enclosure delivers the most complete version of the privacy and natural light benefits we've discussed on this channel with other courtyard-style layouts. Every room facing inward gets a private, quiet outdoor connection that no neighbor, road, or passerby can see into, while the exterior-facing walls can stay more closed off and protected. With all 4 sides enclosed rather than left open, this courtyard functions almost like an outdoor room that belongs entirely to the household, in a way a partial courtyard genuinely can't match. Elevating that same structure on piers adds the benefits we've covered with elevated, cross-ventilated designs, removing the structure from direct ground heat contact, opening up genuine airflow beneath the floor, and creating a naturally shaded, breeze-catching space underneath the home itself, which on a fully enclosed loop like this one, can become a genuinely usable shaded outdoor living or parking area below the entire footprint, not just underneath one section. The honest reason to combine them: a fully enclosed courtyard already creates a strong sense of privacy and outdoor connection, and lifting that entire loop into the air adds a second, independent layer of passive comfort and a genuinely dramatic architectural presence on top of it. It's ambitious specifically because it's stacking 2 real, functional design strategies rather than one design idea layered with pure decoration. This is where this build earns real respect from an engineering standpoint, and it's worth slowing down for, because this specific combination creates problems that neither a ground-level courtyard nor a simple elevated rectangle ever has to solve on its own. Every corner where 2 wings meet is doing serious structural work. In a standard elevated rectangular home, you have 4 corners total. In a full O-shaped loop, you still have 4 corners, but each one is now a true structural intersection, carrying load from 2 full wings simultaneously, elevated well above grade, rather than a simple perimeter corner sitting on continuous foundation. Getting the pier placement, beam sizing and connection detailing right at these 4 points is a genuinely more demanding structural engineering problem than a simple rectangle, and it needs to be treated that way from the earliest design stage, with a structural engineer involved well before finishes are being picked out. The wind uplift challenge we've covered with elevated designs before gets more complex here too, not less. An elevated structure already behaves like a wing under wind load, with air moving beneath the floor, creating real uplift forces the pier system has to resist. On a closed loop specifically, wind doesn't just move under one open span. It can move through and around a fully enclosed courtyard opening in more complex, sometimes unpredictable patterns depending on your site's specific wind exposure, which is exactly why a genuine site-specific wind engineering study matters more here than it would on a simpler shape. This isn't a build to guess at with standard span tables. It needs real, project-specific structural engineering for uplift resistance at every pier, particularly at those four-corner connections. And differential settlement is a real, honest consideration specific to elevating a fully closed loop. Every individual pier supporting the structure needs to be engineered and installed to consistent, predictable depths and bearing capacity, because a closed loop, unlike an open rectangle, has no natural place to simply flex or gap if one section of the foundation settles even slightly differently than another. A qualified structural engineer and a proper geotechnical soil assessment across the entire footprint aren't optional extras on a build like this. They're the foundation, quite literally, that determines whether this ambitious shape stays structurally sound for decades or develops real problems at those corner connections over time. There's a specific fluid dynamics problem unique to this exact combination that deserves its own explanation, because it genuinely surprises even experienced builders the first time they encounter it. When an elevated home has an open central courtyard, wind blowing underneath the structure creates a high-pressure zone below the floor, while the open courtyard above creates a corresponding low-pressure zone. That pressure difference creates a real Venturi effect, essentially a wind tunnel pulling air upward through the middle of your home. Your structural engineer has to calculate vertical uplift, not just at the outer eaves, the way a standard elevated design would, but specifically on the interior courtyard decking and the roof overhangs surrounding that opening, since both are being pulled upward by dynamic pressure that a simple linear wind load calculation would miss entirely. There's also a genuine thermal engineering problem specific to this shape that's easy to overlook until it shows up as cracked drywall. Steel and wood both expand and contract with temperature swings, and a simple rectangular home expands linearly along its length with nothing to fight against. An O-shaped closed loop is fundamentally different. It expands and contracts inward and outward simultaneously, all the way around the ring. If all four corners are rigidly pinned to their piers without engineered expansion joints or slip connections built into the design, the thermal expansion of all four wings will push against each other as temperatures shift, and the house will genuinely fight itself, showing up as structural framing binding, doors that stick, or drywall cracking specifically at those four inside corners. This has to be designed in from the start as engineered expansion joints or slotted connection plates at each corner, not treated as a framing detail to sort out on site. Let's talk honestly about what a build like this actually costs, because this is not, and should never be marketed as, a budget-friendly barndominium option. We've covered on this channel before that a full four-wing enclosed courtyard, even at ground level with a standard slab foundation, typically runs well above a basic barndominium budget, often landing in the $250,000 plus range, even before considering premium finishes, simply because of how much additional exterior wall perimeter, roofline complexity, and structural connection points a full enclosure requires compared to a simple rectangular footprint. Elevating that same already premium footprint onto an engineered pier system adds a further, genuine cost layer on top of that. Engineered pier and beam foundation work costs meaningfully more than standard slab, and on a structure this large and this structurally complex, that premium is applied across a significantly larger and more demanding foundation system than a simple elevated rectangle would need. Add in the real cost of the extensive glazing this design almost always requires along every courtyard-facing wall to actually deliver the light and connection the layout promises, the elevated decking and stair or ramp access needed to actually use the space, and the genuine engineering fees for a custom structural design at this level of complexity. And this build type sits firmly in premium, architect-designed, custom home territory, realistically starting somewhere well north of $400,000 for a modest version of this concept, and climbing substantially from there, depending on total square footage and finish level. If you've seen this exact style advertised at a dramatically lower number, it's worth asking very specifically what's actually included, because the honest math behind this combination of choices simply doesn't support a budget price tag. We've talked on this channel before about how a central courtyard concentrates rainwater runoff from multiple roof planes into one localized area, and on this build, that challenge gets a second, honest layer added to it by the elevation. With 4 roof lines, all pitching toward the central courtyard opening, real engineered drainage, proper grading, catchment, and directed runoff away from the structure's foundation points is non-negotiable, exactly as it would be on a ground-level courtyard. But because this entire structure is elevated, that courtyard-level drainage now has to be engineered specifically around the pier system beneath it, directing water safely away from foundation piers rather than allowing it to pool against them, which is a genuinely different and more demanding engineering problem than draining a courtyard sitting on solid ground. The elevated decking itself, wherever it wraps the courtyard-facing interior walls, needs real waterproofing and drainage detailing too, since it's functioning as both a walking surface and a roof for whatever space exists beneath it. This is a build where your foundation, drainage, and waterproofing engineering all have to be designed as one integrated system from day one, not handled as separate, sequential trades solving their own, isolated problems. Being honest means covering the real failure points on a build this ambitious, not just the impressive finished result. Treating the corner connections as standard framing rather than genuine engineered structural points is the most serious risk on this entire build. These 4 intersections are carrying real, complex loads, and they need individual engineering attention, not a standard framing crew's best guess applied uniformly around the loop. Skipping a genuine, site-specific wind and structural engineering study to save money up front is how an ambitious design like this becomes a genuine safety liability rather than an architectural achievement. This is not the build to treat engineering fees as an optional line item, and underestimating the integrated drainage and waterproofing challenge, treating the courtyard, the roof line, and the elevated decking as separate problems rather than one connected system, is a realistic path to water intrusion problems at exactly the structural points, the piers and corner connections, where you can least afford them. So who is this build actually right for? If you have a genuinely premium, custom home level budget, a real appetite for ambitious architecture, and you're building on a site where a qualified structural engineer and geotechnical assessment are part of your process from the very first sketch, this is a real, achievable, and genuinely striking build, not a fantasy. If you're drawn to the courtyard privacy and light benefits, but working with a more modest budget, an honest, ground-level partial courtyard design, which we've covered elsewhere on this channel, delivers a meaningful share of those same benefits for a fraction of this build's total cost and structural complexity. And regardless of your budget, this is not a build to pursue with a standard kit and crew approach. The shape and the elevation, combined, require genuine custom architectural and structural engineering from day one. Treating this as an upgraded standard Barndominium kit rather than the custom architectural project it actually is the single biggest honest mistake anyone could make attempting this build. That's the honest, complete picture behind this incredible O-shaped, elevated Barndominium. A genuinely ambitious combination of design ideas, the real structural engineering it demands, and an honest cost reality that belongs in premium custom home territory, not a budget build category. If this gave you a real appreciation for what a build like this actually takes, do me a favor and subscribe. This is Homes and Haven. I put these breakdowns together because I'd rather you understand the real engineering behind an ambitious design than just admire the drone footage. New videos like this one drop every week. Let me know in the comments. Is this level of ambition something you'd take on? Or is this one you're admiring from a distance? I read every comment, and it genuinely shapes what we cover next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.